Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Ya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama. Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama.
Jaya Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama. Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama.
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Mike. Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajaka Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Vishwaguru A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajaka Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Grantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, Fundamental Principles of Material Nature, verse number 39. Verse number 38. Vayoho cha sparsha tanmatrat. Vayosya sparsha tanmatrat. Vayosya sparsha tanmatrat. Rupam daiva iritat abhut. Rupam daiveritad abhut. Rupam daiveritad abhut. Samuthitam tataha tejaha. Samuthitam tatastejas. Samuthitam tatastejas. Chakshuhu Rupa Upalambhanam. Chakshurupopalambhanam. Chakshurupopalambhanam. Vayosya sparsha tanmatrat. Rupam daiveritadabhut. Samuttitam tatastejas. Chakshurupopalambhanam. Vayosya sparsha tanmatrat. Rupam daiveritadabhut. Samuthitam tatastejas. Chakshurupopalambhanam.
वायोश्च स्पर्शतन्मात्रा रूपं दैवेरितादभू समुत्थितं ततस्तेज
Samuthitam tatastejas.
चक्षुरूपोपलम्भनम्
Chakshurupopalambhanam.
वायुश्च स्पर्शतन्मात्रात् रूपं दैवेरितादभूत् समुत्थितं तजस्तेजस् चक्षुरूपोपलम्बनम्
वायोश्च स्पर्शतन्मात्रात् रूपं दैवेरितादभूत् सम्मोहितं ततश्चेजस् चक्षुरूपोपलम्बनम्
Vayoho drove his car filled with explosives and near the Red Fort, he detonated it and killed so many people. On the one hand, we have people trying to fighting over who is the most beautiful woman, and somewhere else, people are being killed with explosives. You see how the world is. So, in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, there is a description of the Pandavas after having got their own kingdom. The Pandavas had grown up, and when they grew up, they are Kshatriyas, they need a kingdom to rule. They approached their uncle, Dhritarashtra, and requested him that now we are grown up, we need a kingdom to rule, kindly bless us with some kingdom. Actually, it was their birthright to rule over Hastinapura. So they should have asked Dhritarashtra, now we have grown up, you are the caretaker king, now you please step down and we will rule. That's what they should have said. But they were very polite and very considerate people, because after all, pure devotees, no? So they put it very gently that we need a kingdom to rule, give us some kingdom to rule. They did not demand what was theirs. So the Dhritarashtra also very diplomatically, he said, okay, I'll give you a kingdom to rule, and he gave them Khandavaprastha, which was no kingdom, it was simply a forest. And the Pandavas did not object. They did not say, hey, what are you saying? This is not right of you. This is injustice. We'll go to the Supreme Court. We'll go to, they did not do anything. They said, okay, whatever you give, we'll accept it. They accepted it. And they did all the hard work, put in a lot of effort, and they built a new city in Khandavaprastha, and they called it Indraprastha. And of course, naturally, Krishna also came and helped, and Krishna got Maya Danava to build the palace for all the Pandavas to stay in and all that. And Indraprastha became a flourishing city. It became even more opulent than Hastinapura. Hastinapura was the capital of the whole world. You can imagine how opulent it must have been. And Indraprastha is exceeding the opulence of Hastinapura. So how much more opulent Indraprastha had become. Now once the kingdom was established, all by their policies, by their tax structures and all these kind of things, a lot of people got attracted to come to Indraprastha, and they came and settled there. So it became a flourishing, populated city, which was quite opulent in all kinds of things. So when Indraprastha was sufficiently established, Yudhishthira Maharaj, now we should do something to glorify Krishna. Because now we have got a kingdom, now we are the kings, we are free to do whatever we want with the kingdom. So let us use all these opulence to glorify Krishna. So how to do this? Then Krishna consulted with his brothers, the Pandavas, and he said, let us do a Rajasuya Yajna. The conditions for a Rajasuya Yajna is the king's father must be no more. Only in such a case, the king can perform the Rajasuya Yajna. And already Pandu was no more. Therefore, the Pandavas could perform the Rajasuya Yajna. And then immediately, why Yudhishthira Maharaj chose Rajasuya Yajna, why not Ashwamedha Yajna or some other Yajna? Because in the Rajasuya Yajna, there is a specific ritual called Agra Puja. Whoever has assembled in that Yajna, out of that, the most prominent person, the most elevated person has to be chosen, and he has to be given the first worship. It was Yudhishthira Maharaj's plan that we will invite everyone, all kings from all over the world, let them come. We will invite all the rishis and sages. We will invite all the devatas. We will invite all the prominent kshatriyas. We will invite all the prominent vaishyas. We will invite all the prominent shudras. Let all of them come. And in the midst of them, we will choose Krishna to receive that Agra Puja. Then everybody will recognize, oh, Krishna is the most exalted person. This was Yudhishthira Maharaj's plan. And so he organized for the Rajasuya Yajna, and all the kings and all the Vaishyas and all the Shudras, all the Brahmanas, all the Rishis, sages, and all the Devatas, they all came and assembled. And there, in front of everyone, the question was asked, who should receive the Agra Puja? And different people proposed different things. But ultimately, Sahadeva stood up and he said, I propose Krishna's name. And immediately Bhishma Deva also said, yes, I also second what Sahadeva is saying. And immediately all the sages said, yes, yes, what you are saying is right. Nobody is more qualified than Krishna to receive this Agra Puja in this assembly. Of course, Shishupala objected, then Shishupala was vanquished by Krishna. And after that, the Agra Puja was offered to Krishna. And then other rituals of the Rajasuya Yajna was performed. Everybody was treated well. And according to each person's position, he was given certain kinds of gifts, charity. All these things were done by Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then finally, everybody was sent. They were all sent to their respective places and everybody went satisfied that yes, what a wonderful yajna and what arrangements Yudhishthir Maharaj had done. Everybody was satisfied and went very happily. Now, this whole event was remembered by Uddhava. And Uddhava, remembering this incident, describes this in the third canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. So whenever we go to some event like this, we carry back some highlight, something which was the most prominent thing, something which impressed us the most in that event, isn't it? We go to any event. It may be a sports event, it may be a cultural event, it may be a scientific event, it may be some expo. You go to an expo, there will be many things which will be exhibited. When you come back and somebody asks you, what did you see? Immediately, first thing you will tell is what impressed you the most. There may be 100 things which you saw, but you will relate only with that one thing which really struck you. Therefore, Uddhava, when relating that Rajasu Yajna, he uh, narrated what was the most impressive thing that happened in the Rajasu Yajna. And which, and normally when we go to an event, different people will get impressed by different things, isn't it? You may get impressed by one particular aspect, another person will get impressed by something else. You go to an Olympics game, somebody will get impressed by the 100-meter dash. Somebody else will get impressed by the javelin throw. Somebody else will get impressed by hockey, etc. Isn't it? Each person has his liking. So naturally, you get different people. They get different things. They get impressed by different things and they carry that with them. But uniquely, in Yudhishthir Maharaj's Rajasu Yajna, Trilokaha, people from the three lokas had come. People from the Swargaloka, people from the earthly planetary system, people from the lower planetary system, as well as everybody within the earth, all the prominent people from the earth, they had all assembled. And all of them carried the most significant impression. Same impression everybody carried. That's the unique thing. What was that most impressive thing which people carried in their hearts and minds when they left that Rajasuyajna? The Triloka, the entire three worlds carried this impression. What was that? That's described by Uddhava. He says, Yad dharma sunor bata rajasuye nirikshya drikswastyayanam trilokaha karsnena chadyeha gatam vidhatur arvaksritau kaushalam ityamanyata. So, Uddhava said, Shri Krishna Rukmani Satyabhama ki jai. Uddhava said, Yad dharma sunoho, the son of Dharma, Dharmaraja, meaning the son of Yamaraj, which is Yudhishthira. Yad dharma sunor bata rajasuye. In the Rajasuya Yajna performed by Yudhishthir Maharaj, what happened? Trilokaha, the entire three worlds had assembled there. Yad dharma sunor bata rajasuye. And in that prominent people, the chief people from the entire three worlds, they had assembled there. And what was the thing? What was the most impressive thing for all of them? What was it that they carried with them in their heart when they left the Rajasuya? So he says, Niriksha Drik Swastyayanam. They carried the impression of what they saw. They saw something which was Drik Swastyayanam, which was very pleasing to the heart and to the mind. They felt very satisfied by seeing that. And by seeing that, what was it that they were, their feeling of satisfaction was such that the entire three worlds in the Rajasuya Yajna, they started saying that Karstena Chadyeha Gatam Vidhatur, Vidhatu or Brahma, Arvaksrutav, in his activity of creating human beings, Kaushalam Mityamanyata, Kaushalam, his Kaushala, his skill, Karstena Chadyeha Gatam. Today, what we have seen, the form that we have seen of Krishna is such that we can understand that Brahma's skill in creating human forms has reached its pinnacle, has reached its perfection. Meaning the beauty of Krishna is so enchanting, so captivating, it is so perfect that there is nothing which can be created which can be more beautiful than Krishna. Impossible. And Drik Swastyayanam, that form of Krishna is such that by seeing the form of Krishna, everybody's heart was satisfied that yes, now I have seen the most beautiful object, my heart is pleased. I don't need to see anything more than this. Whereas you see, in the material world, beauty, when it comes to beauty, group of people get together and select somebody as Miss Universe, and there are other people saying, no, 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 there are people better than her. Triksvastyayanam Trilokaha will not happen. Forget Triloka. Within this Loka itself, not everybody will be satisfied. Some people will say, oh, yes, 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 beautiful, really beautiful woman. Other people will say, no, there were other people who were better. So you can imagine all the most beautiful women from the world get together, and one person out of that is chosen as the Miss Universe, and still there are people who are not satisfied with that. This is the nature of material beauty. Material beauty cannot satisfy everyone. That's number one. Not everybody will feel that, yes, this is the most beautiful object. Some people may feel, but not everybody will feel. And second thing is, there is no material beauty after seeing which you will feel, I have seen the perfection of beauty. I don't need to see anything more. You will not feel fully satisfied. That is why every year you have to have a new Miss Universe. Last year we saw one Miss Universe, but satisfaction is not there. One more Miss Universe, one more Miss Universe, one more Miss Universe. Whole life you will be seeing Miss Universe after another. You will die dissatisfied. You will never be satisfied. But you see, Krishna's form, Trilokaha, Drikswastyayanam. The entire three words saw Krishna and they were zapped. Ah, Krishna, what beauty! Arvaksrutau kausalamithyamannyatagatam vidhatur. Brahma has achieved his perfection in the matter of creating human forms. Look at Krishna. What can be better than this? This is called spiritual beauty. This is the beauty of Krishna. It is totally unlike material beauty. This beauty of Krishna is also described by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Lagu Bhagavatamrita. So Srila Rupa Goswami says about the beauty of Krishna, Rupo Gopendra Nandanaha. He says the Rupa, the form of Gopendra Nandana, the son of Gopendra, the son of the king of the Gopas, meaning Nanda Maharaj. So Rupa Goswami describes the beauty of Krishna, who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. So he says, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Asamanordhva Madhurya Tarangamrita Varidhi. What beautiful composition. he says that Asamanordhva Madhurya, Krishna's Rupo Gopendra Nandana, the form of Krishna is such that it is filled with Asamanordhva Madhurya. It is filled with unbeatable sweetness. The beauty of Krishna is such that it is filled with a certain kind of sweetness which cannot be rivaled or equaled by any other beautiful form that you see within this world. Because within this world, within earth, you may have many Miss Universes. You go to the Swargaloka, there are Apsaras, there are Gandharvas, who are all extremely beautiful. The Miss Universes of this world will not be able to compete before them. So there are such beautiful personalities in front of whom the Miss Universes of all this earth, they will have to hide their face in shame. Such is the beauty of the Apsaras and Gandharvas. Even such beauties, they cannot rival or even come close to the beauty, to the sweetness of the beauty of Krishna. Asamanordhva Madhurya. And that sweetness of the beauty of Krishna is how? It is not like, some sweetness is there. No. Tarangamrita Varidhihi. Varidhi means ocean. And Taranga means waves. So, like the waves of an ocean of nectar, it is said that Amrita or nectar is extremely sweet. So, the beauty of Krishna is like the waves of the ocean of nectar. Means the waves keep going up and down like that. When you look at Krishna's beauty, that sweetness, there are waves of, you will be tasting that beauty of Krishna in waves. It's not a static beauty. Static beauty, you look at some painting, picture, okay, look at it, okay, there is some beauty, I understood it. Then you go on to the next one, that's all. This is not like that. In your heart, when you see the form of Krishna, that sweetness of his beauty is such that it will start waves of feelings in your heart, waves of attraction. That is the beauty of Krishna. It is not something static, it is dynamic. Every moment you will be experiencing some new sweetness about Krishna's beauty. Like the waves of the ocean. Ocean water is not calm. Constantly you are seeing wave after wave coming up. People go and stand on the beach, no? And they get mesmerized by looking at the waves. Why? Because every wave is different. And it's very captivating to see that. Like that, the waves of the nectar, the waves of sweet nectar, that is what Krishna's beauty is. Asamanordha madhurya tarangamrita varidhi. Not only that, he goes on to explain, Rupa Goswami goes on to explain, Jangama Sthavarolasi, that beauty of Krishna, it captivates not just one or two people. Like Uddhava explained, Trilokaha, the entire three worlds was captivated when they saw Krishna in that Rajasuya Yajna. Rupa Goswami goes one step further. So when you say Triloka, when Uddhava said Triloka, all the rishis, sages, humans, demigods, all these people came, right? Now he is saying, Rupa Goswami is saying, Jangama Sthavara Ullasi, that beauty, Rupa Gopendranandana, that beauty of Krishna is such that Ullasi, it captivates the hearts of Jangama and Sthavara. It captivates the hearts of moving entities as well as non-moving living entities. That means even plants and trees, not only just humans, animals, birds, plants, trees, creepers, all of them also are captivated by Krishna's beauty. In fact, it is stated that in the Bhagavatam it is stated, whenever Krishna goes into the Vrindavan forest, all the moving living entities, like the cows, the gopis, they all become frozen in ecstasy, seeing Krishna's beauty. They become stunned. They are not able to move. They just stand there like this, like as if they were statues. And the calf will be sucking the milk from the mother, and it will see Krishna's beauty and it will forget. And from its mouth, all the milk will be overflowing and it will be totally frozen. So all the animals, all the gopis, all the moving living entities, animate living entities, they all become frozen like statues upon seeing Krishna's beauty. At the same time, the inanimate living entities like the trees and creepers and plants, when they see Krishna's beauty, they start shivering in ecstasy. You see, this is the sweetness of the beauty of Krishna. Jangama Stavarollasi. Both animate and living and inanimate objects get captivated, get enamored by Krishna's beauty. Srila Prabhupada quotes even another, this one, Tantra Shastra too, which also describes the beauty of Krishna. Kandarpa koti arbuda rupa shobha nirikshya nirajya rupam. So it is said that Krishna's form, Krishna's effulgent form, nirikshya, nirajya means the effulgence. The effulgence of the beauty of Krishna is such that Kandarpa koti arbuda rupa shobha. Kandarpa koti means 1 crore. 10 million is 1 crore. Kandarpa koti arbuda. 1 crore multiplied by 1 arbuda. Arbuda is 10 crore. So 100 million. So 10 million multiplied by 100 million. 1 crore multiplied by 10 crore. That many koti, kandarpa, that many beauty of that many cupids, you combine together, it will still not match the beauty of the effulgent form of Krishna. Kandarpa koti arbuda rupa shobha nirajya padabja nakanchalasya. It does not. So you multiply the beauty of Kandarpa or Cupid, because Cupid is considered the most beautiful person within this material manifestation. So you multiply the beauty of Cupid or Kamadeva by 1 crore into 10 crore. It will still not match the beauty of Padabja Nakanchalasya, of the beauty of the tip of the toe of Krishna. Dhyanam Param, to meditate upon that beautiful beautiful form of Krishna. Dhyanam Param, Ramya Kanter. So to meditate upon that beautiful, effulgent form of Krishna is Dhyanam Param Nanda Sutasya Vakshe. That is the highest form of meditation. Generally, yogis, they go into samadhi. And for an Ashtanga yogi, to go into samadhi is the pinnacle of his yoga practice. It begins with asana, pratyahara, dharana, pranayama, all these kind of things. The final 8th stage is samadhi. And in that samadhi, he is constantly supposed to see Vishnu within his heart. Now, the Tantra Shastra is stating the highest form of dhyana, meditation, is to look upon the beauty of the toenails of Krishna, which cannot be equaled even by 1 crore into 10 crore cupids combined together. Their beauty cannot match that beauty of the effulgence emanating from the lotus toes of Krishna. So Pada Abja means lotus. Padabja Naka, Padabja Nakanchalasya. That beauty of the tip of the lotus toes of Krishna cannot be rivaled even by the beauty of millions of billions of cupids put together. So what we understand from all these descriptions is that we have all been given eyes. We have all been given the sense of eyesight, with which we can appreciate forms and we can appreciate colors. How interesting it is, you see. Each of our 5 senses can appreciate a certain aspect. The ears can appreciate sound. The nose can appreciate smell. The eyes can appreciate form and color. That's what is being stated in today's words. By the evolutions of such forms, there is fire, and the eye sees different forms in color. Samuttitam tatastejas chakshu rupopalambanam. So the point that we have to understand is, we have been given all these faculties of these five senses, and these five senses can appreciate certain things. Each sense can appreciate one particular sense object, either taste or sound or smell or touch or form. Now, why these faculties are given to us? These faculties are given to us so that we can appreciate Krishna. We all have this ability to appreciate beauty. That is why we have Miss Universe. You don't find the dog society, they have one Miss Dog Universe. They are also conducting this contest every year. And there are camels. Camel Society says, we are Camels Association. We want to select Miss Camel Universe of the world and have a one procession and select, have a set of judges and select the most beautiful camel. You don't have that, right? Humans have that ability to appreciate beauty. Now, that ability to appreciate beauty is given why? So that we can appreciate the beauty of Krishna. But what do? We use it to appreciate material beauty for our own sense satisfaction. So this is misutilization of the faculty which is given to us. Just like a car. What is a car meant for? Car is meant to transport you from one destination to another, right? That is the utility of a car. Now, one terrorist took that car and he used it as a weapon to kill people. We saw in Delhi, he loaded explosives into the car, took it into the crowded area and blasted it, so that all the flying shrapnel and all those pieces from the car will act as weapons and it will go and kill people. So what is actually car meant for? Car is meant for transporting people from one location to another. Now we can use it in other ways also. You can use it as a weapon. You can use it as an explosive. You can use it for terrorizing people also. Correct? So that is a misutilization of what a car actually is meant for. When the car manufacturer, when he produced the car, he was not thinking how this can be used for terrorizing people. Did he think like that? No. The only intention of that car manufacturer was how to help people conveniently, safely, comfortably go from one location to another location. That was his only intention. But some twisted mind fellow took that and made it into a weapon for terrorizing people. So you see, similarly, eyes are given for us to appreciate the beauty of Krishna. What do? We want to see Miss Universe. We want to see some scenic object for our sense satisfaction. That is misutilization of the faculty which is given to us. This is true for every sense object. Our ears can appreciate good music as well as cacophony. Right? Certain noises will say, what is this here? Stop this. Very distressing, very disturbing. Whereas somebody plays nice music, oh, very beautiful, nice music is going, let it go on. So you see, each of our faculties, some taste you put in the mouth, rasgulla you put, so nice. Now somebody burns that rasgulla, makes it black and gives it to you. The moment you keep it, what is this here? Don't know how to make rasgulla. Fire that cook, throw him out. So you see, every faculty, you take even the nose also. Certain smells, fragrance. The fragrance of sandalwood, the fragrance of jasmine, it's so pleasing. Simultaneously, there may be some stink coming from some garbage bin. That is, it blows our nose. So every faculty we have, every one of the senses that we have, has got this discrimination. What is good, what is bad. Beautiful form, ugly form. melodious sound and there is disturbing noise. There is fragrant smell and there is a sting. You see, this duality is there in every sense. So that ability to distinguish between one form and another form as beautiful and ugly is given to us to appreciate the beauty of Krishna, not to enjoy sense gratification by looking at material beautiful objects. That's not the purpose. The ears are not given to gratify our sense of hearing with material music. It is meant to hear about Lord Krishna's wonderful pastimes. It is meant to hear the melodious notes coming from Krishna's flute. The tongue is given not to enjoy material food, but to appreciate the taste of Krishna Prasadam. So, like this, every sense is given to us to appreciate the different aspects of Krishna. But we misuse it like the terrorists misusing the car. And because the terrorists misuse the car, what will happen? The government will punish him. Of course, that terrorist died, but all those people who helped him, the government is catching each one person and putting him in jail. Correct, no? So, when you misuse an object in a way which it is not intended to be used, what will happen? You will have to face the music. You will have to undergo punishment for that. Of course, the degrees of punishment will vary depending upon how badly you have misused the object. So similarly, in the human form, we have been given these 5 senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses: the eyes, the nose, the tongue, the skin, and the ears. For what? For appreciating Krishna with each of them. And when we misuse it for our own sense gratification, what happens? We become liable to be punished for that by falling into the lower species of life. We will be caught up in the cycle of birth and death within this material world. So therefore, what happens is when we engage our senses in sense gratification instead of using it for what it is meant to be used for, appreciating Krishna, what happens? Vayoscha sparshatanmatrad rupam daiveritad abhut. By interactions of the air and the sensations of touch, one receives different forms according to destiny. We will be forced to accept different forms, birth after birth, and every birth we will have to experience the pangs of old age, disease, and death. This is the punishment we'll have to undergo if we don't use the 5 senses in appreciating the different aspects of Krishna. So therefore, the lesson that we have to learn from what the Bhagavatam is speaking to us, what Kapila Deva is instructing Devahuti, is that every sense of ours is meant to serve Krishna. And when we and the beginning of that service is with the tongue. So when we begin our service with tongue meaning, Prabhupada says, we use the tongue to chant Krishna's holy name and to taste Krishna Prasadam. By these 2 things, when we start serving Krishna, then devotional life begins. Then gradually all our senses will become captivated by Krishna and we will become trained in utilizing the senses in the proper way to appreciate different aspects of Krishna. And then when we become fully trained in that, in appreciating the form, the beauty, the melodious notes coming from the flute of Krishna, when we really get trained to appreciate Krishna's prasadam, then what happens? Then we'll become eligible to go back to Godhead. And when we go back to Godhead, there is no more repeated birth, death, disease, and old age. And our senses will be fully absorbed in Krishna. Jangama sthavarolasi rupo gopendra nandanaha. Just like all the sthavara and jangama in the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan, whether it is animate object or inanimate object, whether it is animal, bird, fish, or it is plant, tree, every living entity in the spiritual world, all their senses are directed towards appreciating Krishna. Jangama Sthavaro Ullasi. Their ullasa, their, uh, their all the living entities, the way they enjoy is by appreciating the beauty of Krishna. Jangama Sthavara Ullasi. Their ullasa, their enjoyment is not in enjoying their senses independent of Krishna. Their enjoyment is in the is in appreciating Krishna, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's form, Krishna's playing the flute, Krishna's singing. So this is what every living entity in the spiritual world is trained for. And so therefore, when we take shelter of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, accept Srila Prabhupada as our Diksha Guru, and we serve him, what happens? We get trained up in how to engage every sense of ours in appreciating different aspects of Krishna. And that paves the way for our liberation from this cycle of repeated death, birth and death within this material world, where we can, how much ever we try, our senses can never be fully satisfied. You can have many Miss Universes, but you can have, any number of beautiful women, but you'll never be fully satisfied. The eyes will still be hankering to see something more beautiful. The tongue will always be hankering to taste something more better. The ears will be hankering to hear something, some better music. It will never be fully satisfied. That full satisfaction, that full stop comes only when we start appreciating the different aspects of Krishna. That is what we can understand from today's verse. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss. So therefore, we can see how the there is form and color, two things when we speak of eyesight, the ability to see. We see forms and we see them in color. It is not black and white, right? So even black and white also two colors are there. So you see, we see form in colors because Krishna's form has got a certain color. So our power of distinguishing different colors is given so that we can appreciate the beautiful color of Krishna's form. And beauty is appreciated along with color. Without color, there is no real beauty. That is why in the world also you have different shades of color, complexions. Somebody is very fair, somebody is very dark, and there are so many, somebody is wheat complexion, different kinds of complexion. So that we can try to satisfy our eyes by seeing different varieties of complexions. But until we come to the point of seeing Krishna's blue form, Shyamasundara, cloud blue form, we will not be satisfied by all the complexions we see in this world. Yes, please. Yes. It's a simple thing. As we have seen in the previous verses, air is what causes activity. Without air, we cannot move. There are 10 different kinds of air circulating within the body as per Ayurveda. Dhananjaya, Krikara, Apana, Udana, Vyana, Samana, etc., etc., etc. So one of them is responsible for the movement of the eyelids. Another is responsible for the muscle contraction and expansion, because of which we can move our limbs. Another is responsible for flowing inside the veins, or rather the nerves, which is what gives us neurological abilities. And we have seen how if there is some vata disruption, then you will have neurological disabilities, all these kind of things. So the air is the fundamental source of motion within this material world. And Prabhupada says all the planets are also moving around. They are floating in space and moving in their orbits by the adjustment of air. Prabhupada gives the example. For example, now when we see everything is very calm and clear, right? But the moment there is a storm, there is a gust of wind, what happens? you will see all dust rising in the air, isn't it? Especially in Vrindavan, you can see during summer you have this Andi. When the Andi comes, you can see full dust. All the visibility will get cut off. So dust is lying on the ground. Nature of the dust is to lie on the ground. But when the air moves in a certain way, all the dust will start floating in the air. So by the motion of the air, dust can float also. Otherwise, dust will not float. So in a similar way, by the arrangement of air, planets are floating in the air, in the space, and they are going around in their orbits. So motion within this material world is caused by air. Air is what causes motion, movement. Therefore, all the activities that we do, all the actions that we do are ultimately emanating from air. So when we say interaction of air, that means the different activities that we do, punya karma, papa karma, vikarma, all those activities that we do, that is ultimately caused by air. So air gives opportunity for us to act in different ways. So action, all our actions are caused by air. So the different interactions of air cause our different activities, and those different activities result in a particular mental situation. If my whole life I've engaged in sense gratification, my mental situation will be, I am the body. If I practice self-abnegation, I practice giving up sense gratification, I practice tyaga, I practice vairagya, what will be my mental situation? I'm not the body, I'm a spirit soul. So according to the mental situation that I have, caused by the activities which I am doing, which is caused by the different interactions of air, what happens? My next destination gets fixed. If I have engaged in activities of vairagya, my next destination will be a spiritual destination. If I have engaged in activities of sense gratification, my next destination will be a material destination, either as a human being or as a devata or as an animal or whatever. So therefore, predestined activities are the plans of the mental situation and the interaction of air. So the interaction, and we have also seen in the previous verses how when at the point of death, when a living entity has to transmigrate, has to leave this body, at that time, whatever his mental situation is, so his subtle body will be carried by air. The living entity encapsulated in the subtle body is carried by air to the next body. This is the process of transmigration. And when he goes to the next body, already it is destined what kind of body he will get, what kind of combination of Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Satoguna. According to that, what activities he will do, all that is predestined. So therefore, predestined activities are the plans of the mental situation and the interaction of air. That is how we understand. Is that okay? Anybody else? Yes, please.
Among the colors, so make it blue color more than the other color. The sky looking blue, although going blue is sky should look violet. Is it because Krishna's body is up? That's why we can have a blue color more than the
Prabhupada says the sky is blue because whatever light is there in this material world, even the sun for that matter, there is no light within this material world. Material world is fully dark because you see the universe, how the universe is comprised. Universe has got a shell over which there are different layers of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous layer. So if you pack something with 10 different layers, with 5 different layers, each layer 10 times thicker than the previous, and if you go inside that whatever that you have created space within that, it will be pitch dark. There is no possibility of light entering, isn't it? So where is light coming from in this material world? It is coming from sun. And where is sun getting all the light? It is simply reflecting the effulgence from the spiritual world. So even within the darkest region, some light will penetrate. So even suppose on an Amavasya night, you close all the doors, windows, everything. Still something you will be able to see. That means somewhere little light is filtering in from somewhere. So like that, from the spiritual world, the Brahman effulgence, it penetrates into the material world and reflects off the sun. And that is how we get so much light within this universe. Now, what is that Brahman effulgence? That Brahman effulgence is the bodily effulgence of Krishna. And that bodily effulgence of Krishna, naturally, because Krishna's body is bluish in complexion, the effulgence of Krishna's body will also be bluish, no? Suppose you have a torch light, and the torch, the glass on that is blue color. You switch it on, what will come? Blue color only will come. If it is red, red color will come. If it is green, green color will come. So because Krishna's body is bluish in complexion, the light emanating from Krishna's body is also bluish. And when that light gets reflected from the sun and comes, the sky appears bluish. That is how Prabhupada explains. Is that okay? Yes, please. Sorry? Yes. Yes. So even though the subtle body is finer than the gross body, fact is that the subtle body is limited within this gross body, no? You can perceive what happens to different aspects of your gross body. You cannot, if I prick somebody next to you with a pin, you cannot feel the pain. He can feel the pain, but you cannot feel. So that means with your subtle body, what you can experience as pain and pleasure is limited within this body, within your body. You cannot experience what is happening to some other body. So that subtle body of ours is limited by our gross body. And our subtle body currently is carried by our gross body, no? Wherever I go, my subtle body also comes with me. Does it happen that, okay, today I'm feeling lazy, I don't want to get up for Mangalarti, so let my subtle body sleep here, gross body, let it go for Mangalarti. If such a facility was there, so nice, no? All of us, mind and intelligence, sleep in the ashram room, and gross body will come to the temple hall and all the chanting and go. Such a nice facility to have. It doesn't happen. Wherever our gross body goes, subtle body also goes. That means our subtle body is being carried by our gross body. So, and our gross body is made of what? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. That's all. So, when the time for transmigration comes, when the time of death comes, the arrangement, the material arrangement Krishna has made in such a way that the air will carry our mind to the next body. Because, like I said, motion everywhere in this world is, the source is air. So if the subtle body also has to go from here to there, motion is involved. So how that motion will happen? It has to happen with the assistance of air only. Without air, it cannot go. So shall we stop here? Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.